Hey, come here, check this out. I had a VIP call last Friday before this dip happened. A VIP asked me, hey, this little mini dip down to 62.5, what's going to happen afterward? I made a very specific guess, and guess what? It's exactly what played out. It's a little freaky, actually, but that's not why this video is important. Here's why this video is important. I need you, because you probably hold altcoins. You're here to make life-changing wealth, right? Okay, so to be able to anticipate the most likely scenarios, A, on Bitcoin, the three most likely scenarios, and then B, relate that to what effect it's going to have on your altcoins, it's going to make your crypto journey so much more profitable. I cannot stress this enough. So let's dive into what I said. Let's dive into the charts to see what played out so we can get you on track for a profitable crypto journey. Let's dive in. All right, so I am going to actually move myself. You can see me here. All right, so check this out.
So you think for these next few days, this correction or retracement is done?
No, I think there's a chance. I think that it's going to be a lot of whale games for the rest of this week. And before this continues, I made a line on the chart of when this video happened. So the video happened right there, okay? So Bitcoin tried to break, actually, I think it made all-time highs, came down, thought it had a bounce. I knew it was probably going to keep, I knew that it was a strong probability it would keep going down, right? And so right here, somebody asked, well, what's going to happen next? Okay, so this is what happened next. Now watch what I draw on the chart. Early next week, I think it's just going to be fake out after fake out. So what I think might happen next is this next bounce creates a higher local high, but then you either retest the low or make a lower low. All right, so look. Higher local high and then made a lower low. That's exactly what happened. So let's take a look. So here's the question. So what was the major thing that made me think this? Okay. But it all boils down to interpreting weekly candles on Bitcoin. Weekly candles. I cannot stress that enough. Even if you are a day trader dealing with the 5-minute time frame, I cannot stress the importance of always starting with the weekly in mind. All right. Even before the monthly, like just looking at the week, it is changed. Like it's a game changer. I promise you. And I know that's a strange answer, but it started with the weekly candle in mind. All right. So, on that video, I have it clearly labeled. If you can see it down here where my cursor is, Friday, November 12th. Okay. Now, I knew that it was the end of the week, okay? And so going into the weekend, you have mostly flighty price action. So trading during the weekend, if you're trying to catch what you might consider the big trade, something you could hold on to for over a week, it's a horrible time to try to get into that kind of stuff, especially if you're playing around with leverage, because that's when exchanges and, whale games happen the most. They're essentially taking money from gamblers heavily over the weekend because the pros, actually are not trading, right? So it's typically flighty price action. Now, when Bitcoin raced up in 2020 from 10K to in the beginning and into the beginning of 2021 up to 40K, yeah, there were several weekends where it got hot, right? Several weekends, and there wasn't floaty price action. It was just insane bull run. Okay, but that is the oddity, right? That is the exception to the rule. It's typically flighty price action. And I knew that, a lot of, since 2019, and I've already verified this in the chart, it's beyond a reasonable doubt. Institutions very clearly started entering Bitcoin in 2019. And I can almost pinpoint it to the exact low in price action down to the daily candle when this just the trend on how lows are formed started changing in 2019. All right, I've already essentially, quote unquote, proven this to my community. And so you have to think like a whale, particularly over the weekend. Particularly, it's insanely important. Okay, so it's Friday, end of the week. I knew that was anticipating. Now, how could you essentially do a double fake out? Well, you first create a lower 4-hour low. And was this actually a lower daily low? No, it was not. So you take a pretty highly traded chart like the 4-hour. First, you bait. So we're thinking like a whale, right? Leading into the weekend, because most price action after freaking Thursday closes, it's just like you don't need to be trying to get into, like, it's just until Tuesday. That's why I don't like entering trades until Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. And Tuesday's my favorite day. And guess what? Today is Tuesday, right? All right. Anyway, so how could whale games, screw the little people as much as possible? And you need to learn all of their tricks so now you can make money from it instead of playing the victim game, right? We're not here to look pretty. We're here to make money. We're not here to whine. We're here to make money. So if there are games being played against you, just learn the games and play it better. Make money from it, right? Because all whales do is they create volatility. Volatility equals profitability. So because whales equal volatility and volatility equals profitability, that means whales also equal profitability. You need to learn how to profit from it and not get your money taken from this BS. It's essentially BS, but honestly, it's profitability as long as you understand it. All right. So anyway, how could you screw as many little people as possible who are playing around with like gambling, essentially with futures? With an over leveraged market? Well, you go to a chart that's heavily traded and that carries a lot of weight, the 4-hour chart. You create a new lower low, right? So you have a lower high and a lower low. Therefore, you bait people shorting. You get shorts baited. You run it the other way. You get them stopped out and or liquidated. Like you can liquidate people off of this size of a move because a lot of people are doing like 25%. So if they entered their short here, right? A 5% move on Bitcoin on 25x leverage, you're out. Your money's gone if you don't set stops, right? And a lot of people are gambling with that. So you bait shorts first. You liquidate them. You bait longs because this high was broken. So this local high was being broken and with volume. Do you see that candle there? It had strength behind it. So it's even more compelling to take on a long because this is broken and it looked like it was going to race back up to this horizontal, right? That's pretty classic trading. So what whales are doing is they're taking very classic trading rules and they're doing the exact opposite. Like they make the setup happen. The setups are being created or manipulated to the upside and downside, but in kind of choppy action, and then they run it the other way. All right. So before we keep going, I need you to flip your phone or get flipped off. Hey, Tim, what does that mean? It means literally your phone's horizontal. So flip it vertically, hit that like button for me. And what's going to help me out even more, if you leave me a quick comment, even if it's a period without the tampon, you yell your favorite food like pizza or say cowabunga because you're a Ninja Turtle, whatever the case, or your favorite coin, Trias. I love Cardano. Leave me a quick comment. It's going to help out the algo for me. And if you're new to this channel, hit subscribe, hit the bell. Here's why you should hit that bell, because this is time sensitive information. And if you want me to help you walk through a more profitable crypto journey, you need to hit that bell. I'm here to help you. Help me help you. We are in this together. All right, let's dive back into the charts. Okay, so you bait shorts, you liquidate them. You bait longs, you liquidate them. That's it. That's how I knew that. And when can that type of stupid crap happen? Over a weekend. And how would I know to have anticipated that? Starting with the weekly in mind. It's that simple. Now, if you haven't watched my Plan B video, I explain why I knew it was a strong. So did I know a dip was going to happen? No. And if you ever hear anybody say that, either they misspoke, which I've probably said something like that, something stupid like that a few times. I knew it was going to dip. No, you actually don't. That's that's a very stupid statement. No one knows. But how I knew it was a strong either likelihood / probability or a strong possibility, slightly less than 50% chance, but perhaps among the most likely scenarios. So the way I knew it was a strong, I don't know if I want to use probability. I thought it was a probability, right? But I knew it was a strong possibility for sure that a dip was going to happen down to 58K territory, right? And I even tweeted on it and all that stuff. But so the Plan B video that is popping up. Let's see here. It should be popping up. If you want to check out that video, how I knew this was going to happen. I explain it perfectly in this video that's popping up right here. You can go click that link and then come back to this video. All right. So, but to give a summary of how I knew that it was a strong possibility, perhaps probability that this was going to happen was, you know how I always say that Bitcoin and Ethereum are a primary indicator more than MACD, more than RSI, more than, Fibs or whatever for your altcoins? It's a more important indicator than any of that, right? But oddly enough, Ethereum is a primary indicator for Bitcoin. I promise you, that's why I was the only person on the entire internet, right? When Cardano was screaming up, making all-time highs while Bitcoin and Ethereum were not, right? Recently, when Cardano hit $3, I said these three assets have to, quote unquote, sort themselves out. Cardano has to go down and sideways. Ethereum has to go either sideways or up and sideways. And Bitcoin has to get on its high horse and get on its horse and really giddy up. And they have to sort themselves out related to their all-time high. So imagine this is an all-time high line for each of the three. They each need to be the same distance roughly from their all-time high. No one else said that on the entire internet. And that's exactly what happened. Bitcoin outperformed each of those, and and then it actually passed its all-time high and kept stronger while the other two did not, but they had to sort themselves out. So, and I knew that, so Bitcoin was essentially a primary indicator for the market because it was too suppressed. It had to outperform altcoins. It had to. The market couldn't keep going up, right? That's just how this market works for now. Could that change in 2 years? Absolutely. All right. So along that same thinking, how I knew it was going to sort out is exactly what happened, right? And it was a pretty bold call because, like, yeah, I honestly didn't know if it was going to happen or not, but I just felt it the way the market moves. So same thing. Ethereum is a primary indicator for Bitcoin, right? And so just like how in that example that I just gave with Cardano, Ethereum, and Bitcoin, the market was not allowed to move up. Same thing for Bitcoin. Bitcoin was, even though it's, honestly in a pretty bullish posturing. Like, let's see, which chart should I use here? I mean, this is a bullish posturing right out of horizontal. When you posture like this and trying to break out of a horizontal, that's pretty good. But Ethereum could not do this because the way it's moved 100% in its entire history in aggressive trading channels with a primary and secondary channel, it did not have permission to go up. It had to go sideways and or down. And because of that statistical probability, strong probability, right? It was, because it has a 100% hit rate. Does that guarantee it's going to be the same? No, but it gives you a strong edge. So in that video, I said Ethereum either has to go sideways then up, so for at least 10 days, or it has to go in that plan B video that I linked you to, and then I said, or it has to go down, then recover, then go sideways, then go up. And because all of this takes 10 days plus, that's why I knew that plan B's estimate, although his estimates, the last 3 months was awesome, but I knew, well, I said, there I go again. I still don't know. I knew it was a strong probability, right? That 90 plus K Bitcoin this month is not going to happen because of Ethereum, right? And I knew that one of two, there are only two ways that this plays out once it breaks out of these channels per that video, is one of those options is down. And because Ethereum had been so hot for so long, and Bitcoin's indicators had to reset as well, like the daily RSI needed to get down, the daily Stokes needed to get down, it just needed to happen. I thought that this was the most likely between the two, like the two by far most probable scenarios for Ethereum, and I knew that Ethereum was going to pull Bitcoin down if this scenario played out. Therefore, the process, that process of logic, that process flow said that, hey, Bitcoin, even though itself without Ethereum probably would break up, it doesn't have permission to, because this is what Ethereum's going to do, right? And then I used the weekly in mind, right, to then guess precisely within that thought, like going down to a micro level, taking a microscope to that thought, how it was going to play out on smaller time frames. I used the weekly in mind to guess exactly how that was going to play out. So it's almost like, I apologize to reference illicit drug usage in a video. I try not to curse or do that kind of stuff or make sexual references. However, if you've ever heard people who either trip on mushrooms or acid or something, they a lot of times they start seeing how everything's connected, like, oh, we're all one and all that stuff, right? like, as weird as it sounds, the more you look at charts and see the market for itself, particularly Bitcoin, Ethereum as leaders and how altcoins react to it, you start seeing how it truly is all connected. It really is just one. You have chaos within the number one, right? Kind of like a weekly candle is just one candle. But if you zoom in on the hourly, like, you see all this kind of crazy stuff. But all that crazy stuff is one with just a solid weekly candle. It's one with it, as weird. But it's not just that. All the cryptos are kind of the same way. So, for example, all of the altcoin movement that happened is essentially wrapped in to one monthly bar of Bitcoin, one boring monthly candle of Bitcoin. You have all that chaos that is one with. So all the altcoins on the 4-hour chart, 1-hour chart, all that stuff is one with just a Bitcoin monthly candle or a Bitcoin weekly candle. It is all one. Right? So I'm going to probably leave you with that. But new viewers, hey, check this out. There are going to be 2 videos popping up here in just a few seconds. They are 2 of the 3 videos in my playlist called the most important videos I've ever made. So when these pop up, choose one, go through all 3 videos in that playlist. They can drastically change how you perceive crypto and drastically change the level of profitability that you have within this bull run. Just check those videos out, new folks. And if you're returning, hit like before you leave or you get flipped off. Flip your phone or get flipped off. And new viewers, do not forget to hit subscribe, hit that bell. I'm here to help you. Help me help you. This is time sensitive stuff. So hit that bell. We're in this together. Y'all just got Timified.